One of the biggest mistakes that I see people making when strength training is worrying about having a high heart rate and burning calories. And I want to explain to you how that doesn't really play a part of lifting, but what you do want to focus on. So first, I want to acknowledge that if you're like me, how you grew up, I was inundated with thinking and being told exercise is about burning calories. You want a super high heart rate, right? From our moms, aunts, TV, right? All those things would tell you this. Eat as little as possible and do lots of cardio because you want to burn calories. And I want to kind of dispel that. Why, specifically with strength training, you don't want to worry about calories burned, and you also don't want to worry about a high heart rate. So then what do we want to monitor and watch, right? And so kind of explain. So first, let me just kind of share that if we are worried with calories, burned because we want body fat loss, please remember that that main driver for body fat loss is not exercise. It's like literally 5% on average for most people of calories burned. So don't rely or use exercise as like, hey, I want to lose body fat. Exercise is my main driver. You won't see the results you want. You'll be disappointed. And I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to have a healthy relationship with exercise. And I want you to do it separate of losing body fat, because the amount of food that we ate got our bodies where they are. So it's the amount of food we eat that's going to get your body back to where you want to be if that's body fat loss. Meaning it isn't the lack of exercise that got you where it was, it's the quantity of food. And so that's where you want to focus your time and effort. If body fat loss is your goal, it's how much food you're eating, the quality of food and all that, but also your daily steps, which keeps a low heart rate and your cortisol low. Those are the main drivers. That's what you want to focus on for body fat loss. So then why do we exercise, right? So cardio is amazing for heart health, endurance, training for something. It gets us outside. Group classes are phenomenal for a sense of community, right? There's a lot of reasons that we do cardio, and it's good for the body. I just don't like to say, hey, the main reason we do it is for body fat loss. It burns calories that are just a bonus, but it also comes at the cost when we have a higher heart rate of raising cortisol levels, which we don't want to do, especially if we're doing hours of cardio. So let's talk about strength training. Why do we strength train, and why do we not care about calories burned or a high heart rate? So again, we aren't looking at exercise to burn calories and lose body fat. And when you strength train, you're gonna keep such a low heart rate that's gonna burn even fewer calories. Like, don't even worry about it, not even anything worth tracking. So with this, I wanna explain to you what kind of training program you wanna do to get the results that you want, right? To create what we call, I hear a lot of people, the buzzword is a toned body, right? A toned body is you want to build the muscle to change the shape of the body, but then you also have to lose the body fat to see it. So toned is a two-part. You gotta work on the nutrition, daily steps, but you also gotta grow the muscle so the shape of the body is different. And that's where lifting weights comes in. And it's awesome. Anyone can lift weights. Anyone can follow a training program. Anyone can follow a progressive overload, which is the best type of training program. It kind of sounds intimidating, I think, but it's great for beginners and advanced, and it's great for younger, older. Anyone can follow it. And that's what my G4Fit program is. It's a progressive overload plan. And again, it's not intimidating. It's just the type of program that it is. Anyone can do it because you get to control the volume of like how much exercises or sets you're doing. And you also get to control your weight, right? Those are the two things that can make an exercise challenging. And so with that said, a progressive overload plan is taking 1 week to complete your workout, right? However many days you do, and you're getting a foundation, a base. You're working on the movement pattern, right? You're seeing how much weight you can lift, how many reps you can do, where your failure point is, and you're gonna document all that. Those are the numbers you're gonna watch. And then week 2, you're gonna do the exact same workouts, but challenge yourself by either adding another rep, which when you're at failure, another rep is hard, right? Going slower. So if you press up, you're gonna let it come down as slow as possible. That tempo change is awesome for progression. Increase weight. Maybe you add a different, another set for some more volume. You can change the progressions to whatever works for you per exercise, which is why it's awesome, right? Those are the numbers you're gonna wanna monitor week to week to week as you're completing the same movements. So please don't get me wrong, all movement is great. I don't care where you start. I started with some very basic movements from home that are a HIIT workout. And then sometimes I would follow an Instagram workout, and the next day I'd pull up a YouTube workout I liked, and then I would do another core workout, and then I would do a workout with a friend, right? I was kind of all over, but that's all I could handle at the time, which is great, and I was moving, so I was proud of myself. But I wasn't quite seeing the results I wanted. So that's why it's important to follow an actual training program where you're working the same muscle groups with the same, the pattern that you should be over and over for a few weeks and then switching it up again. So that's how we get the results that we want. It is a very slow process, right? When you're performing 10 reps on your first set, right, it's as slow as and controlled as you can go, and your heart rate will raise a little bit when doing that because you're taxing the body, but nothing like cardio. And then your rest period is where you want to recover. You don't want to do anything. Yes, do I know it's boring and it feels like you're wasting all of eternity? Yes, but that's where the magic and the growth happens. So you must take your rest periods. So after a set, you want at least 60-second rest. Sometimes depending on if you're doing like a really heavy squat or deadlift that's, involving the whole body, the central nervous system, you need it's like 5+ minutes to rest. You just listen to your body knowing what load you're carrying on it, right? And so that rest period is where you recover and allows the heart rate to come back down, which does so many things to the body. In recovery from your fuel system to muscle recovery, there's a lot that happens in those few minutes. And that's why you can then be recharged, pick up the same weight, if not heavier, if you're, depending on your programming, and move it again and feel confident and secure with good, proper form. The problem is sometimes we have in our heads that I must stay busy. I must keep a high heart rate. I must be sweating. Those are signs of a productive, efficient workout. But that's not true, especially with strength training. No amount of sweat or high heart rate is indicative of a hard or accomplished workout, right? It just means, you've raised the heart rate up to where it's like being like chased by a bear, your cortisol levels are through the roof. And that's not a bad thing, but it isn't indicating that, hey, I'm reaching my goals or it was a good workout. You just fatigued yourself. It depends on what the goal of the movement is, right? That's what is a good workout. So for strength training, a good workout is slow and controlled with a very moderate heart rate that dips during recovery and then comes back up, because our goal is muscle growth. And if you understand muscle growth, you have to have the recovery. So if you are someone, like I say, the biggest mistake I see in the gym is it's usually women that will do a bodyweight movement in between sets and they're not resting. I know, I get it. It's boring and long, but you must rest, right? Take a drink, hydrate those muscles, talk to a friend, get in the zone and think of your next set. Scroll your phone, right? Whatever you need to do. Walk if you need to, low heart rate, just a little bit of steps, but don't do body weight exercises, because the point is not to keep a heart rate high. That's actually literally going the opposite of and counterproductive to what we want with muscle growth. So get used to kind of hanging out for a minute or a couple of minutes and figure out something else to do, but don't do reverse lunges or burpees or jumping jacks or anything else to keep the high heart rate. So hopefully I made that very clear. It is very counterproductive. We do not want high or raised elevated cortisol levels. And that's what that movement does. When we change heart rate zones, right? Just like with cardio, it's elevated and cortisol is high. Again, counterproductive to strength training and building muscle. So as you look around the gym, you'll see that other people aren't doing that either. And that's because they understand the programming. And it's just, we know what we know, right? And we've been told forever, keep the heart rate high. So hopefully this is helpful for you of finding something to do during those rest periods. Not focusing on a high heart rate, because it doesn't matter. We're not going to burn many calories strength training, so that doesn't matter either. What you want to track, like we talked about, was the progressive overload and the progression that you're challenging yourself every single week. And that is amazing, because when you see that I was at failure and I can only do 8 reps one week, maybe on the second or third week, you can now do 10 reps. You are factually stronger because you couldn't do that the week before or 2 weeks before. And that's the best part of strength training. Those are the numbers that you want to watch, because now you're going to start getting some of those lines in the definition. And then when we watch our calories from how much we're eating in our daily steps, then you'll have the body fat loss to complement it, and you'll be able to see the muscle, gains that you want. So hopefully that helps us understanding the role of exercise, right, is to change the shape of the body, help us feel healthier, functional movement, right? We want to be able to get up and off a toilet in so many years. And that's from a combination of some good endurance through cardio at a minimal level, not too often, especially less if we're perimenopause or menopause, because we want to keep the cortisol levels down. And strength training is a must for everyone, right? Minimum of 3 times a week. Can be as long as you want to. Any movement is a great movement, but ideally a progressive overload plan. So hopefully that is helpful in understanding why we strength train, where our heart rate should be, and calorie burn. You will burn more calories in time the more muscle mass you have. So that's why it's awesome. Like I'm sitting here burning calories just because it burns calories maintaining muscle. So there's a lot of calorie burn, but it's kind of more behind the scenes. It's not the focus of our workouts. So hopefully this is helpful as you kick butt in your workouts and get strong.